family. It's good news, but as you heard from the police spokesperson there, national spokesperson Brigadier Vish Naidu, it's not a full stop in terms of the investigation. It will continue. But what goes through the minds of people who are indeed kidnapped? What sort of psychological effects are there? I want to take this story forward and talk generally, not specifically about the Moti Brothers, but generally, and maybe it can help those who have gone through this experience. Clinical psychologist Prof Saths Cooper joins us now on the line. Professor, great to have you on the program. Welcome.
Thank you, Blaine.
We need your better mind in this regard, sir. Talk to us about your experience with dealing with, in particular, children who have gone through such an experience. Take us into the minds.
Well, look, this experience is unusual. It is not a common experience. And there is likely to be immense terror and uncertainty over what's going to happen to them. On the other hand, it depends on who the captors or the kidnappers have been, because they can engage with the victim in ways that can either increase the terror or, contrarily, reduce the terror. So it all depends on that actual experience. I know this is not the kind of answer you want, but that is the position, because perpetrators deal differently with their victims. However, there will be a very acute trauma that each of the persons who have experienced it will undergone at point. They would be in conditions where they don't know what's going to happen. There may have been threats. On the other hand, there may have been inducements for their cooperation and participation. But all of this will have serious traumatic effects on the individual, irrespective of the age. And there are a variety of symptoms that one can look at in terms of what the individual would have experienced.
Right. Prof, if you can, I think we're getting some feedback from your headphones that's rubbing on your collar. So if you can adjust it a bit, I think that will help. Thank you very much indeed. I think that's much better. Talk to us, Prof, with regards to some of the experience stress reactions. I'm sure it's going to be denial sometimes, memory loss sometimes, shock, numbness, etc. What should parents look out for?
Parents should look, this has been a 3-week period in particular for these kids, but parents should be looking out, and this is not necessarily only related to this kind of incident, but other traumatic incidents where parents should be looking out for unusual responses, withdrawal. On the other hand, irritability, outbursts of anger, the child going into a deep depression. There will be exaggerated responses, all of those kinds of things, unusual behaviors that the individual would experience, whether a child or an adult. And once that is ascertained, help can be obtained. So there are enough experts around throughout the country who can deal with the post-traumatic sequelae that the individuals would have displayed, if you like. Now, the acute period is now, and if left unchecked, they can become chronic, in fact, even delayed reactions to this. So the numbness, the nightmares, the inability to stay awake or fall asleep, loss of appetite, a variety of other kinds of symptoms that also may be idiosyncratic for the individual. And young people, children in particular, are very, very resilient. It is clear that the love and concern showed will impact on how they're going to react.
Often when you have cases like this, people want to get involved, people want to help, people want to find the children. Their pictures go viral. They're everywhere. They're ingrained in the minds of many. I'm not sure about the drawbacks to that. When society now, they're back in society and they're trying to adjust. How can we as society better help that adjustment period, for them to get to a better place?
I think the best is to give that young family space, to give them time to coalesce back as a family unit, for the children to be completely immersed in the love and caring that they used to. So they need time. And I think there's great degree of interest from this with media, with the public. Everybody has been shocked and concerned about it. But now's the time to give the family space so that they can deal with what they're confronting. The images, the media, they can have positive or negative effects. And the kids, when they go back to school, will be pounced upon by their fellow classmates and schoolmates. So there'll be that kind of reaction, natural, and how they prepared to deal with it by the parents, by other caregivers, and by experts will determine how they're able to deal with those posts that are online and will be there forever into eternity, and how they're going to relate to those, positive or negative.
Right. Look, we're dealing with young children here, but I just wonder, they may be more susceptible to getting help, psychological help. But what about those older who will say, look, I'm strong enough, I can deal with this. Is there a danger there, not seeking help, because it might manifest later on when you think you're strong enough, when you're really not?
Well, look, I don't think any of us is strong enough to deal with a totally unnatural, horrific set of circumstances that kidnapping entails. You would not want it on your worst enemy. And in this case, it's happened to children. So I think we need to understand that all of us can do with a helping hand, with a caring individual or two in our lives. And heaven knows we live in highly stressful times, and we need that shoulder to lean on. And there are many shoulders in the family, in the friendship cohort that can help.
Always instructive. We appreciate your time and your expertise, sir. Be well.
You take care.
All right, Professor Saths Cooper, their clinical psychologist, talking to us about the Moti Brothers' return, but not just them, in terms of